Hey everybody, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. and this is the Dirty 30. The best highlights from all of our podcasts this week. 30 minutes every single Friday. The Dirty 30 coming at you. Let's get right to it. Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. back again for another episode of the Dale Jr. Downloaded. So Denny was unaware of the point situation. He passes Ross. This helps Logano. Gale, his crew chief, told Denny afterwards that the team was sensitive because at Martinsville last year they had, the race manipulation, so they were careful on what they were saying on the radio. And I've heard, I guess on DBC, they said that Zilich during the Xfinity race, his team got warned for merely mentioning what the point situation was during the race. NASCAR was like, no.
TJ, are you allowed to give?
Haven't never been said you can't exactly do that, but it's just somewhere you just don't let the others. I'm not saying.
I have zero problem with any spotter saying, here's a point situation. Let's freaking.
Especially for a playoff driver.
And honestly, there's there's all these videos. Was Cole Custer not trying to pass the 22? Was Bowman not trying to race the 1? Who cares? At this point, who cares? Whatever. I mean, I guess as long as it ain't like super egregious.
When you have cars holding up a car.
Yeah, or guys coming down pit road, like just blowing their whole race just to get off the track.
Yeah.
Or a guy spinning out on purpose, right? And some obvious, spin gate from back in the day. That was an obvious thing. They did the detective work, the CSI, got the radio calls and all that, and they added it up and said, yeah, that's and I think everybody would agree. This stuff here is just what happens.
Like, Denny should be allowed to make the decision.
He should. Give me the information. Let me choose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. But you just don't mess with it because you don't want to get in trouble. So I don't anyway.
Well, then you
can't police it because there's conversations that happen during the week. I don't know that this happened, but let's just imagine all the guys in the Chevrolet world probably had some conversation at some point about what the situation was with each Chevrolet driver in the playoffs. And, you can't police this stuff. So it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. I mean, as long as it don't get to that egregious point where, it's obvious and they're just like, hey, don't pass this guy. Get behind this guy. Hey, come on down pit road. Why? Just come down pit road,
So does last year the 12 pushing the 22 at Vegas? Is that obvious?
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Now, my question, and I agree with you, but...
Hey, Harry Gant ran out of gas at Talladega. 1 lap to go. He was going to run out.
Mm-hmm.
For the last 5 laps at about, probably a second or 2 slower a lap, Rick Mast pushed Harry Gant around the track. Pushed him. At probably a decreased speed of maybe 10, 15, 20 mile an hour. And Harry wins the race. Nobody cared.
Now, do you think, though, some people might say that's to prevent what happened at Martinsville, though, you have to police it the way they are now, because how do you judge that line and if someone went too far? It
is a judgment. There's no line. There won't be a line in this situation. It's just got to, if it feels like it's, you know what I'm saying? If it feels awful, it's awful.
Never heard that.
Kind of like the definition of porn. You know it when you see it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, all right, was that too much? No, it didn't bother me. And honestly, this is one of those deals where I think people are going to have to just lay back and let whatever the person that's in charge of this, or it's probably a group conversation at NASCAR. When they get back on Monday and they read all the script and see what every spotter said, they all kind of probably get together with about a handful of people in the room and go, do we hate this or don't we? And we just got to live with their interpretation of, was it too much? And I'm okay with that. I'm all right with it. There's no clear way to make sure this is cut and dried and black and white. And that's fine. That's one of them situations. It's kind of like balls and strikes. Every umpire sees it differently. This will be the same way for me. Maybe sometimes they may rule too leniently, Or maybe sometimes they may rule too aggressively, and it is what it is. I watched the game, Monday Night Football game last night. There was a bunch of pass interference calls. Don't get made.
Oh, I know. Well, that's the Chiefs, buddy. They got happens all the
time.
Well,
it happens. The game carries on, and you accept the result at the end of the day.
Hey guys, welcome to Actions Detrimental post the Roval, the end of the round of 12 for the NASCAR Cup Series. I am Denny Hamlin. I am that guy again, 3 weeks in a row.
This moment in the final corner where Ross needed one position, and you were that position.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. Suddenly the one is like you could see he's slow. He's fighting his car and whatnot. And at that point, again, I have no idea. Never did I get any update on what position we're in. Never did I get an update on the points, anything. So at that point, I just think this is another spot I've got to gain. I don't know where the 22 was. I didn't know if the 22 was 10 spots in front of me or 10 spots behind. Absolutely no clue whatsoever because I didn't get that information. And in the race car, you gotta understand, it's tough. I can't even see the pylon, unless it's a caution. So when we're running that last stage, green flag, and there's all these different varying strategies, there's absolutely no way to know where this strategy netted me out after my last green flag pit stop. Again, I had no idea what position we were even in. So I didn't know whether Chastain was in front of the 22 or the behind or anything. The one was slipping. I caught him with about 2 to go. Might have been 2 to go, or like a lap and a half to go. I actually caught up to him. And I tried to make a move coming into the front chicane. He was trying to he didn't really aggressively block it, but what I felt like is that if I would have jammed it in there on the front stretch chicane, I risked wiping both of us out. Like, I wanted to not wreck myself nor him. Again, I want no parts of whatever goes on. So I'm like, he's so slow. I've got plenty of opportunities left in this for the next, 2 miles, whatever it is. There's plenty of opportunity that I'm going to pass him. So I didn't pass him there. Then I make a move again after the front stretch chicane. We take the white. I go into turn 1, and you got to realize, fans, what you can't see on TV is this track. When I say it's one lane, it is one lane. There's rubber that all these tires have shredded on the inside and the outside of this one lane. You can't see it on TV. You can see it under caution when the cameras aren't going so fast. But I'm hesitant to dip out of line at any point because every time I did, I would get into the loose rubber and my car would take off. And so I go into turn 1. I show him I'm going to go low, and then I see that there's loose chunks of rubber all in that bottom lane. And I said, well, if I'm going to go in there and attempt to pass them, I'm more than likely going to just end up dooring the shit out of them, knocking them into the tire barrier. It's fine. There's a point on the track where there is no rubber that I'm absolutely going to pass him. And I thought that was turn 7. You've got lots of room on the exit of turn 7 to make the pass. And I thought that was the safest place for me to make a move on him. So essentially, I waited all through the infield portion of that track, just waiting to then pass him off of turn 7. And unfortunately, he never made turn 7. I think he said that he stuck it in the wrong gear. What he's saying there is he went to first gear. Most cars were running second gear through turn 7 on older tires. If you go to first, it will make the car turn really abruptly. Well, and in his case, since he had no rear grip, when he went to first, it sheared the back. You saw it sheared the back of his car around, left the bottom wide open for me, and I thought, well, that's the easiest pass I've made all day. So, my strategy of passing him in turn 7 happened. And then I don't know that he's desperate. No one told me that, be careful, he needs your spot to get in.
Why are you upset that you didn't have that information?
There's obviously 2 reasons that I would want to know, right? One is, if these guys are battling, it would give me a much better understanding of why, understanding to prepare if I'm going to attack the one. Well, I need to know that he's going to be really aggressive blocking you. That could have been a simple message. It then allows me to say to myself, well, who do I want to race? And it's not race manipulation if I'm trying to get the best result for me. I got no allegiance to Ford or Chevy or Joey or Ross, but I have interest in myself winning a championship. And so I think at that point, and it is a double-edged sword, I think that you can argue which one you would want to race. I think that I still go out there and I try to pass the one because I think the one has a better shot of getting to Phoenix. I think the 22 has the better shot of winning Phoenix. So I can't win Phoenix unless I get there first. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So it's not a given that I want to race Ross over Joey. Ross would have a better shot of keeping me from getting to Phoenix than Joey would, in my opinion, on pace. Had I known, I probably would have thought about it. And I don't know what I would have done, but I certainly would have thought about it. And all those things would have crossed my mind. They crossed my mind Saturday night. Given this situation, who do I really want to advance? And I thought the same thing. Well, the devil you know or the devil you don't. Which one could make my path to Phoenix harder? One would make the actual Phoenix race harder. That's the balance that you just don't know. But I know for sure that if I would have made a decision, had I known, and then had I made the decision, don't pass the one, do you know how bad I would kick myself in the ass if the one kept me out of the Final Four? Like, I don't know that I would, my mental would be gone. I'd just be like, you overthought it. What the hell? Don't do that. Just let it play out naturally. And in the end, that race played out as naturally as it did.
Today, we got a great guest coming in here, Steve O'Donnell, the president of NASCAR. Let's talk about the lawsuit. How can we make this go away?
Oh, man. So
why is this not going away?
I would say, here's what I can say. I can't get into too many details,
sure.
Right? But what I can say is we didn't bring a lawsuit. We don't want a lawsuit. I've spent 30% of every day working on a lawsuit versus talking to fans and getting the sport going, which is really tough. We filed something yesterday, and we asked for the court to set up a mediation. The reason we did that is because we had a mediation in New York. I can't get into the details. We don't want to be in court. Don't get me wrong. We'll defend ourselves in the sport to no end, but we want to see this go away. So our next step was to try and get in front of a judge in Charlotte and just say, hey, what can we do here? Make this go away. That's our goal. Still not sure what the other side wants. We don't believe it's a case that's a monopoly. We believe it's a contract dispute, which it is what it is. But our goal is to make this thing go away and get back to racing.
In the past month or so, a lot of, everybody's been talking about discovery, and all these things that might come to light. NASCAR having to open up its books and so forth, and there's been a bunch of anticipation around that. But some text messages did come out.
Yeah.
Did you know, I guess, in the days ahead that was going to happen?
Yeah. So let's go back to that, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big boy and not afraid to shy away from stuff, right?
Sure.
So this was 2 years of a negotiation, right? Mm-hmm. And you know me well enough. I'm a passionate guy. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, probably too much, right? But in the text messages, I'll just refer to mine. What came out was the way it was presented in court was that I said, F the teams. I didn't say that. I said in April, the context was if we did this deal the way it was, I felt like it would be an F to the teams. I was defending the teams to my boss, which was Jim France. And so that was a little disappointing that it came out initially without the context. Hate the language I used, right? You never want to see that out there. It is what it is. Yeah. But where we are today, Jim France comes in my office, and I'm like, oh man, this isn't good. I'm trying to defend the teams on this, and he said, look, I don't hire yes men. I hire people to tell me what they feel is right, and how do we get to a good deal. So I feel like all that's out there. I knew it's out there. There's no surprises. The other side's kind of emptied their bucket of here's all our text messages. It sucks. It sucks getting deposed, but it is what it is. And I stand by the fact that, I was trying to put a deal together that worked for everybody. We made some changes since I said that before we got to the end deal. And, I feel like we got to a place that other teams, got their arms around.
Yeah. In the last week or two, there was a lot of teams that came out and wrote some notes of support of the charter system. And I feel like while they didn't basically come out and say, hey, we side with NASCAR on this whole thing, they were in support of the charter system and very in support of some settlement, some way for this to be handled. Did that move the needle at all?
So what I think that did, Dale, is it helped. It's being positioned that NASCAR wants the charter system to go away. Jim France, the one thing about Jim is charter system is in place and said, I will live by whatever we signed. He had a choice, right? He could have said, we don't want charters in the future. No, we've seen the value grow for teams, which is awesome. And what we wanted to come out there, because you go to trial and we saw it written, was the charter system could be up in the air. Well, that's not good. That's a lot going on there. So I think the team saying, hey, there's a concern here if this goes to trial that anything could happen to the sport, including charters going away, that's a concern.
Yeah.
And I think it's positioned that, oh, no, don't worry about that. We see it as a concern, and if it goes away, that's not a win for NASCAR that charters went away. We support charters. We got 13 teams that signed up with them.
Yeah. If you went to 2311 tomorrow and said, we're going to make them permanent, does that end this battle?
I have no idea. I mean, I honestly
How could you all not know that? How could y'all have been in mediation? You've had conversations. How could you not understand what might trigger real progress?
Yeah, I'm going to leave that, Dale. I mean, honestly, there's been one mediation, as I've said. That's it.
Was that August?
That was court appointed in New York. Yeah.
So there was there's been no other conversation. There's not been a time at any point in all of this where everybody's kind of been in the room or at least on the call to say, hey, is there a route?
Not to my knowledge.
Damn. All right. And so the mediation in August was managed by this dude from the NBA.
I'm not sure where
he was the mediator.
Yeah.
Some guy that's from the NBA.
Yep.
And you guys want a court-appointed mediator.
We'd like to see that.
Right.
We'd like to see. We didn't get anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So we thought, hey, someone in Charlotte can help us get somewhere. Let's do that.
The mediation in August was very brief,
pretty brief. Yeah.
You walked in with some terms.
I think the way mediation works, and I can't get into a ton of detail. All I can say is that I think there is an understanding from both sides. Hey, what do you think? Right? Leave, talk to the other side. What do you think? And then, is there any proposal you'd like to put forth? I think that happened, and then meeting broke up. So there was a conversation between both parties briefly, but no real progress. So hopefully we can get something going, because our goal is
the way to get you guys to settle is everybody's got to swallow a little pride. Everybody's got to. This has gotten personal. It's already it's very personal on both sides, and the dislike is apparent. How does you got to fix that? I suppose at some point, because look, I mean, in the end, no matter what happens, if you go all the way through court, you're going to be here, NASCAR's going to be here, and they're more than likely going to be here. So I mean, y'all have to get in the sandbox at some point.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but all I can say is when you get sued for something and you want a settlement with things that have nothing to do with what you sued for, it's hard to make sense of that. Mm-hmm. So that's the struggle right now. And I can tell you that, listen, willing, able, our folks have said, and that's why we filed what we did.
Yep.
Nobody wants to go to court from the NASCAR side. We want to concentrate on racing, man. That's all I can say.
Well, if it does go to court, then there's I think both sides would appeal. It's another year and a half.
Yep.
I feel like that this has been detrimental.
1,000%.
I would compare it towards, it's not exactly the same, but in terms of how it makes the fan feel, I would compare it to work strikes, work stoppage that we see in other sports. Those are absolutely detrimental when there aren't any games. But this is a turnoff.
I don't disagree.
I know, and so, but it's hurting you and them.
It is, but we're going to defend what we believe is right. That's all I can say. Is we put something in place that 13 other team owners signed up for. Yep. 13 other team owners are actually working with us right now to help grow the sport, and we got to defend what we think is right.
When the charter system wasn't there, and there wasn't a guarantee from NASCAR that this, if I own a charter, right, now that the agreement's in place, I'm guaranteed a certain amount of money. Before the charter system for the fans,
yeah.
What was I guaranteed before?
Yeah, no, I think it's a very fair question. So you look at the original charter system, right? The original reason for a charter was guaranteed starting position.
Right.
And so what happened, you and I go back, right, when we had 60 cars at Daytona 500, Tabasco would come in, right, millions of dollars sponsorship, going home. And at the time, we all thought, it's okay, it's big business, NASCAR, and sponsors didn't, right? That was a big blow, and a lot of money left the sport from potential sponsorship. So the owners asked for permanent starting positions. Now the challenge with that, if you're NASCAR, right, if you just sort of looking purely at the fans, and I don't know if you see this, but fans miss the days when the Gatorade, when those races made. We had 150,000 people. That mattered, right? They love 60 cars. Who's going home, right? Yeah. All that went away. That's okay, because we said we want guaranteed starting positions. So then the guaranteed starting positions were also, okay, what money can we also guarantee as part of this? So we looked at that as well. So the original deal was, guaranteed in every race, and there'd be a set amount of money that you could be based on. And then the third piece was this value. So I 1,000% agree. If Junior Motorsports was a Cup charter owner, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, right? Put your life into the sport. You said, hey, that's enough. What did you have?
Yeah.
And that's not good, right? You've put all kinds of things into the sport. So if he wants to get out at some point, and that value is now going up, that's great. And I think that will help, someone invest because they see their value going up. So those three things were the reason for charters. Those were the reasons when we went back in, we felt like we delivered on those, and that's where we were.
What's that? Oh, it's somebody's birthday. I think we have a little bit of a surprise.
Double birds coming. Y'all don't have a really good surprise. What is this?
Cue the surprise.
Oh, man. Is it Cole Swindell and another trip to Key West?
Nope. 51 is a little bit more basics. Look at that. So High Rock usually sends a cake for Ralph's birthday, and this year we've got a High Rock bottle cake.
Badass.
That's pretty cool.
That is. Thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
Happy
High
birthday.
Rock, and all my friends. All of you, I suppose. Y'all. Holy moly. Was there confetti?
I think it shot right.
What the hell?
I think it shot right over your head.
All right.
It's a big cake.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good jump scare for your birthday.
I know, right? This is fun.
Are you gonna take a bite out of it?
No, I will eat it though.
We can give you a fork if you want to try it right now.
What kind of cake is it? Do we know?
Red velvet. I don't know what it is.
I sure hope it's a carrot cake.
We'll get a piece here when the show. At the end of the show, we shall all have a piece.
Okay, sounds good.
I've shaved my beard. I know everybody's probably seeing that I've done that. Let's just get that out of the way. I was going to the dermatologist. I haven't been in a while, and I was going for a full body checkup, and I just said, you know what? I don't want to take any chances. I've had some work that I had to do on some areas on my temples from sun and my ears, and so I wanted to make sure all that was good to go, and some of that was, some of that stuff's kind of down on top of my beard line. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
What do the girls think of you when you're clean shaved?
So
Isla's cried.
I warned Isla. I was like, hey, Daddy's going to shave his beard tomorrow. And I enjoy it because I get to see the man's face. Mm-hmm. Like when he gets that beard, when it gets so long, you can't even see his facial expressions.
I like having the beard because it's like a natural Photoshop.
It's makeup for men.
Yeah.
It's well, and how fun is that for you? Like to have this extra face you can put on.
Yeah.
And then cut
like
off.
you can like make your you can make your jawline sharper, and like you can make things disappear. So it's like male Photoshop, natural Photoshop.
I don't know. It's getting it gets out of hand though, and then it's not so cute anymore. It's
I know.
It's just rugged. You know what I mean? But we told the girls you were going to do it, and Isla literally was like, she's seen it before, and she was mad that it was going to happen. Mad that he was going to shave that beard off.
I think she doesn't care. She just wants to have a reaction, just so we have a reaction, her reaction.
Well, maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But she like full on started to cry, and then she hissed at him.
She wanted to react, so we'd go, "Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's gonna be fine. It'll grow back." She wants all that attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. She's really indifferent.
You think?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I would bet on that.